And we back. And
And
we
we
back.
back. And we
And we
back.
back.
We back. And we back.
We back. And we back. It's your favorite podcast, the Are We Recording podcast, with your two favorite co-hosts, the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton,
Bark, 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 bark.
and I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank you guys for tuning in to another NFL Week 8 prediction video. We love all the support we're getting on these videos and all of the micro content we're making. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you go check them out on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok to get all of that content. And it was a crazy week 7. We got a lot to talk about, but before we get into all that, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I'm kind of upset before we recorded. You let me know that this is the first week you had a better picks record than me, and what a streak I was on. What a win streak I was on, man. I'm sad that it came to an end like this.
Hey, honestly, you still put up a really good fight, and I think I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because I think a lot of people would say that I was trying to make excuses for myself, but I don't think that's the case. I really do think that the NFL is just there's so much like unknown with these games every week. So to the viewers, I finished 12-3 last week. Ethan finished 11-4. So the 3 games that I missed, I picked New England over Jacksonville. I picked the Jets over Pittsburgh. That's another one that you missed with me. And I picked the Chargers over the Cardinals. Ethan, you messed up with picking New Orleans over Denver, Atlanta over Seattle, which I think that was a toss-up. I think we both could have seen either one of those teams come away with it. Mm-hmm. You picked San Francisco over Kansas City, which I had a feeling about.
I was the most mad about that one. I should have known.
Yeah, because when I picked Kansas City, I was like, man, this really could go either way, but I feel good about the Kansas City pick, and it ended up working out for me. And then, like I said, you picked the Jets as well. So I think what I'm understanding from these picks is the Jets fucked us both for believing in them. But besides that, how do you feel about the record this week? How do you think you did on your predictions as a whole?
I think I did good for the most part. Like I said, I took a couple risks. The San Fran one was me being arrogant. Damn, I should have KC. That was an easy one to pick. It really was in hindsight. Same thing with the one I'm shocked about it too is how Denver stomped New Orleans. New Orleans really is just they've fallen off a cliff. We talked about it a lot. We gassed Kubiak offense. They're very average, below average football team. That's just what they are. With or without Derek Carr. And so it's kind of all right, well, this is what it is now with them. So those are probably the only 2 really standouts. I mean, the Jets and the Steelers playing in Pittsburgh, I had a feeling that they might have been able to pull it out, but I'm not too stressed about it.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few games that I think had both of us on the edge of our seats, kind of being like, oh, this could be another loss. Because I was looking at these 2 games really intently. It was the Green Bay-Houston game because we both picked Green Bay. They were down 2 points with a minute left in the game. And Detroit-Minnesota, which also came down to a last-second field goal by Jake Bates for the Lions to send the Vikings home with their first loss of the season. So while we're talking about week 7, let's get into our overreactions. What are some takeaways that you got from this week 7 that you're ready to just, hop off the ledge a little bit more now that we're almost halfway through the season?
Oof, I wish I can go with the obvious one. I think I made a tweet about it, but Lamar's going to win his 3rd MVP, and Derrick Henry is going to be Offensive Player of the Year. Baltimore right now is playing some of the best ball in the league, if not the best team in the league. Like I said, until I see them beat KC, I'm not going to pick them over KC, but they're playing outstanding to start the year. And out of all the years that Lamar is going to win MVP, this is by far his best year as an individual. Like I said, last year, I still think Dak was the MVP, but I think this year absolutely clears anything Lamar did last year so far.
I am in 100% agreement with you. And I think that just goes to credit how the Ravens have built this team and how they've adjusted, especially from the beginning of the season. The first 2 games, we saw them come out the gates and try throwing the ball too much, saying, nah, we're not really going to lean into the Derrick Henry thing, which all of us were like, why would you do that? You have him for a reason. You have all this physicality on your team. Put it to good use. And since that week 2 loss to the Raiders, we have not seen them let off the pedal in the run game. And in return, it's made Lamar so much more comfortable in the passing game. He's more in rhythm. He can stay in the pocket, but he also feels like when he takes off and runs, he's either going to go and get yards or he's going to make a big play to either Zay Flowers. And shout out Rashad Bateman, who had a big game this week too. That Ravens offense is just clicking on all cylinders. Not to mention that defense is a problem. Kyle Hamilton. I know we saw Marlon Humphrey go down with an injury this week, but yeah, man, that's a really good team. And I'm with you. I definitely see Lamar and Derrick Henry walking away with these Player of the Year accolades, and hopefully it leads to some team success for them in the form of a Super Bowl berth or AFC Championship berth at least.
No, I'm right there with you, dog. Like, I think that team is really loaded this year. They're playing great on all fronts. I just got to see them do it. You know what I mean? And we got the news this morning that Kansas City is making a move for DeAndre Hopkins, which is really, really scary, considering that even with Tennessee, he was putting up quality numbers. He was being a quality wide receiver, right? And to have him with Patrick Mahomes, and then hopefully later in the year for Kansas City fans, they're going to have Rashee Rice back. Oof. That's all I could say. Like, that's gonna be a nice 1-2 tandem right there. And honestly, it's nice and welcoming seeing a team actually make winning moves. Dallas, like, you see Kansas City, they only give up a fifth for DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's a crazy steal. Yeah. I think he's gonna help Kansas City a lot. Like, Kansas City, legit. Like, no team can beat him right now. To win against San Francisco was really, really important. Especially they beat them in San Fran, how they did. Mahomes didn't play well at all throwing the ball. But for him to make some progress with his legs, get some really, really good conversions on late downs. I don't know. I like the way that Casey's playing, and I love the move that they made for DeAndre Hopkins.
You know, I wanted to talk about Kansas City too, because when I picked them last week, there was a little bit of hesitance of like, they haven't been playing their best ball. They're going against San Francisco. But, you know, I saw the odds stacked against San Francisco, and I just remembered Steve Spagnuolo is a madman on defense. The
best defensive coordinator in football.
Bro, with what he's given, he has Kansas City consistently as a top 10 defense, and it's insane to me. They do have some really good talent on that team too.
Top 10, bro. They're the best defense in football. The last 2 years, they've been the best defense in football. It's crazy how Kansas City's been able to do this. We talk about the beginning of the Mahomes era, right? With Tyreek and Kelsey. They had an all-time great offense, right? And they're winning games and Super Bowls that way. Now they flipped it, and they have all-time great defenses now. Like, this KC defense, if they're able to 3-feet, we need to have uncomfortable conversations of where these defenses rank. Because, damn, bro, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, Trent McDuffie, all them boys. They let L'Jarius Sneed walk, and he's not playing good at all with Tennessee.
In Tennessee, yeah. That kind of reminds me of like when Patriots corners would leave after Super Bowl runs, where like they would leave and they're just like not the same. Malcolm Butler is like the main example I think of.
I think Stephon Gilmore is like the outlier. Like, Stephon Gilmore is an all-timer, and he's the one that's he was great everywhere he went to. Dallas was great. Was in Minnesota. He's playing great now. So I'm with you, bro. It's crazy how Kansas City's still able to keep doing this, reinventing themselves. I sound like Chris Collinsworth glazing the fuck out of the Chiefs right now.
Well, hey, I'll give you my overreaction for week 7. I think I'm ready to say that I'm thinking about it again, because I was going to say Tampa Bay winning the division, the way that they put up the fight against Baltimore, but I totally forgot about the Chris Godwin injury at the end of the game, and that's brutal. That is brutal for them. He was playing so good.
Mike
Evans went down with a hamstring injury. Yeah, we don't know like how long he's going to be out.
According to Cox sources, I saw this thing where it was like he's probably not going to be back at least until like week 11, which if so, it's a really, really big blow for that team that's already dealing with injuries to guys like Rashee White, and now Chris Godwin too. It's like it puts a lot of pressure on Baker in that offense. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I was thinking that would kind of open the door for the Bucs, but I think I have to shift it now, and my overreaction is going to be that the Atlanta Falcons, even though they lost to the Seattle Seahawks this past week, are going to win this division, because we just talked about one of the shit teams in the division, the Saints. The they've also got the Panthers in this division. Those are two teams you don't even need to worry about as the season continues. And now the Bucks are at a huge disadvantage with both of their wide receivers down for the next couple of weeks minimum. They're going to have a hard time winning games. We just saw Baker struggle when he didn't have Mike Evans out there. Again, Baltimore's defense is very good, so we'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and we'll say that the Buccaneers will still compete. But as of right now, it's looking like it's the Falcons' division to take.
I'm right there with you, bro. Like, if Atlanta doesn't do it this year, when are they going to do it? Like, New Orleans is stinky. Carolina is stinky. The Bucks are inconsistent, and they're not healthy right now, especially on the offensive side of the football. They have to do it. They have to do it. And I think in that division, I think 9 wins gets it done. I think first team to 9 wins will win that division. And to switch to my overreaction of the week, I guess leaning into kind of one of the bigger games, right? I'm not going to really give my prediction for this game until the time comes, but San Francisco and Dallas. This is a must-win game for both teams. Must-win game. Both these teams, the last 3 or 4 years, they've been perennial contenders in the NFC conference, and they haven't played good this year. I know a lot of people focus on Dallas because Dallas is Dallas, right? And they're always an accident waiting to happen. San Fran hasn't been better. They haven't been. It kind of escaped a little bit of the criticism because of the injuries, even though Dallas had a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the football. But San Fran is going to be without Brandon Ayuk for the rest of the year. Debo has pneumonia, so probably more likely than not for this game, Debo's not going to be playing. Christian McCaffrey, we might not ever see him in a 49ers uniform ever again now with this arthritis thing. All the pressure is on Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy in this offense. And on the flip side with Dallas is they got the doors blown off of them by Detroit. And really every time they play a home game, they're coming off a bye, so they're getting a chance to regroup with some help. Deron Bland should be playing this week for them. Same with Michael Parsons, even though DeMarcus Lawrence probably won't be back until later in the year. It's both these teams need this win, right? They need this win. It's going to be hard to see that whoever loses this game really make it out into the playoffs. It's really going to be hard.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you because you look at both of their records right now and where they stand in their respective divisions. The Cowboys are 3-3 and third in their division behind the Commanders and the Eagles, who say what you want about the Eagles. They've been up and down, but they're still winning football games. They're 4-2. The Commanders have been shocking, and they're at the top of the division at 5-2. So that already is very tough for the Cowboys if they lose this game to try to come back from a 3-5 record in that division.
Is the Cowboys record 3-3 or 3-4?
They're 3-3, and the 49ers are 3-4 in their division. So the Niners right now still are competing with the Seahawks, who had a very impressive
I think the Niners have a better chance just because of how up and down that division is. The Rams have been hurt. The Arizona, 1 week they want to play really, really good. Next week they kind of want to abandon everything they're doing and not winning the game. Same thing with Seattle. Seattle's been up and down like this. So I guess there'd be much more hope for San Fran to win that division than Dallas just because of how well Philly and Washington surprisingly have. But I still think it's a must-win. I still think it's a must-win, man.
No. Well, the thing I would say about the NFC West is that, like, I think in the NFC East, you can kind of say that it's a 3-team race because the Giants, we kind of know what the Giants are. They're not going to we know they're not going to be a playoff team. But in the NFC West, you still got the Rams at 2-4. They're getting Cooper Kupp back. They're getting, hopefully, Puka Nacua back sometime this season. I could easily see them sneaking to a better record than the Niners if they can get healthy and just get on a run. Because the way the Niners have been playing, it hasn't been a very good brand of football. So, yeah, man, I'm with you. I think that's a very good overreaction. I think these are both, like you said, teams that need a win this week to hope that, that the season can continue for them because
they're going to be in trouble if they lose this week. They're going to be in trouble if they lose this week.
I was going to say, would you put the nail in the coffin for either one of these teams if they lost this week?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would. And we'll talk about it when we get to the predictions, but I do think there's a path for victory for both teams. I know we'd like to talk about the Niners of recent memory stomping on the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys had a legit shot. Like, the Cowboys can't beat San Fran this time around. I don't know if they can.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a minute till they can. But I guess that. Do you have any more overreactions?
No, man. I think I'm ready to get into our week 8 picks because I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about the week 7 fallout through these week 8 games. But let's get it going, man. Let's start with our Thursday night football game. We've got the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Los Angeles Rams.
Thursday night football. Thursday night football games are always really weird. I feel like the Vikings are coming off I wouldn't say disappointing, but a game they would have liked to have won against Detroit that they kind of let slip through their fingers, especially with the turnovers. I think even though there's a chance for an upset, because the Rams always got an upset in them, with Cooper Kupp coming back this week, I'm gonna go the Vikings to win on the road and beat the Rams.
Yeah, this is a tough one because, like we talked about, the Vikings played really well last week, and I'm not sure if the Rams are going to have all of their guys yet. I'm looking at the injury report.
I'm trying not to overthink it like how I did the Saints game. I overthought the Saints game. I'm thinking, okay, Spencer Rattler instead of Derek Carr, and then they got the door blown off of them. So I'm gonna stick with a favorite this week. I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go the opposite side. I'm going to take the Rams this week because I'm a hater for my own division rivals.
And I'm with you.
And I need to see the Vikings take an L. I think Matthew Stafford and the Rams on a Thursday night can pull it off.
Bet that.
We'll move on to our Sunday slated games on Sunday morning. We have no international games this week, so thank God we don't have to get up early to watch the trash in England. But we do get to see the New York Jets travel to Foxborough and battle the New England Patriots. How you feeling about these two teams that are
stinky? Yeah,
very bad.
I think just to sum it up, I think the Jets are going to win this game. Like I said, they got the doors blown off of them in Pittsburgh, played a terrible game. I know it was Devontae Adams' first game, but what do you have? Like 3 catches for 30-something yards. He was not good.
The second half, he was non-existent.
Garrett Wilson with that terrible drop that led to an interception. Him and Rodgers are not on the same page, and the Jets sitting at 2-5. This season's cooked already. I do think they're gonna win this game. They'd have to win I think something like 9 out of the last 10 games to have a chance of winning this division. Who knows? They might be able to get to 8-9 wins and make a playoff berth, but I don't count the Jets doing that. I do think they're going to win this week. Patriots are one of the worst teams in football. Even though I do like Drake May and how he's been playing, I'm going to pick the Jets.
Yep, I'm taking the Jets here too. Just off of Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers alone. I don't think I really need to say much else. The Patriots haven't been playing very well. So.
Okay.
All right, we'll move on to our next 12 o'clock game. We've got the Green Bay Packers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're back in Florida. Who are we going here?
I'm gonna go Packers. I think the Packers got a really, really, really good win against the Texans last week. I'm of the mindset that Jordan Love and Will Levis are are 2 different sides of the same coin. Jordan Love be getting lucky. He be getting lucky like crazy. He be getting lucky like crazy. That touchdown. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers admin on Twitter because he had this graphic of I'm gonna see if I can put it on the screen or Gage can put it on the screen, whoever's editing it. But of the intercept or the touchdown that went through the DB's hands. I'm like, that's how Jordan Love plays. I don't know how he be getting lucky like that. But I don't know how he be getting lucky, but I don't think he'll have to.
Hey, that wasn't luck, bro. He knew that he had to throw a piss missile through the defender's hands to get it to his guy. Yeah, and I just think that's good quarterbacking.
Yeah, for sure.
Brett Favre used to do the same thing.
Yeah, I know. His ass leads the league all time in turnovers. So shout out to him.
And touchdowns too. So
yeah, and robbing people in Mississippi. But
okay, all right. Allegedly,
my nuts. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Allegedly. Yeah, we don't want to get sued.
Yeah. For what money? Our recording got no money, so surprise.
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Okay, but allegedly, of course, I'm gonna pick Green Bay, just like you.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay too. I do see this as a possible Jacksonville trap game though, because Green Bay has had a hard time playing in Florida in the past, and Jacksonville got a big win last week. So definitely won't put it past the Jacksonville Jaguars somehow sneaking a win here. But I feel pretty confident with the way the Packers have been playing that they'll go in and take care of business. So let's go to our next 12 o'clock game, AFC South division matchup. We got the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Houston Texans at 12 o'clock. This is interesting because we saw this game earlier in the season already, and the Colts were very competitive in that game. I don't know if that's going to be the case this time around now that they're playing in Houston, and Houston's coming off a big loss to Green Bay.
Yeah, that's my thing is that I don't know what to think about the Colts. I think, like I said, I'm not off the Anthony Richardson hype train, but I just don't know. Like he's played some games where he looks like that guy. He makes some throws, and then sometimes it's like, dog, you can't complete a simple crossing route over the middle. Like, I don't know. I'm just not really sold too much on that team, especially Anthony Richardson. I think he really just needs reps, and if he keeps getting hurt and being unavailable, I don't know how much he's going to be worth, especially in the near future. But I think the Texans are going to get this dub. I think the chance for the Colts to beat them was in week 1 at home. They weren't able to do it. I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans here too. For all the reasons you just said, I think they're just too up and down. And yeah, the Texans taking the win here. Next, we'll move to the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Where are we going with this one?
Bengals at home. That terrible defense, but that offense is on fire. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow has played really, really well of recent weeks. I think they really need this win for a wild card berth. It's tough though because I really don't rate their defense at all, and I don't rate Philly's defense at all too. But, oof. You know what? You leaned into some hate earlier in the show. I'm going to lean into some hate this week. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to be able to sneak it out at home. I think the defense is going to at least be able to keep it close enough for Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow to get enough points on the board. I'm going to go with them, though, even though I can easily be wrong.
Yeah, this one's a tough one, too. I kind of want to go with Philly just because last week, granted, it was against the Cleveland Browns. But the Eagles... Sorry, not against the Cleveland Browns. I think it was the week before. They played the New York Giants last week. Saquon went absolutely insane. And I really don't know if there's anything that's going to stop him from doing that against Cincinnati. And if I'm not mistaken, I think last week was also the first game that Jalen Hurts has had without a turnover since like 2021. And they won very convincingly. So I think that's what they need to start leaning into is just – play smart, conservative football with Jalen. When he needs to make the throws, let him make the throws. But you've got Saquon for a reason. You paid him for a reason. Lean into that. Lean into Jalen's legs, and this team will be okay. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Bet that.
All right, next we've got lost my spot. Here we go. We've got the Tennessee Titans visiting the Detroit Lions. I think we're both kind of in agreement with where this game will go.
Yeah, give me Detroit.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit too. But as we did last week, actually, hold on. We can't do this again because I don't think Will Levis is playing. I was going to ask you how many Will Levis games are we going to get? Yeah, I think
he
got Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I think he got benched this week, so I think it'll be Mason Rudolph. Plus, they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, they're trending towards a rebuild. Yeah, the Titans are going to go for that number 1 overall pick standings. They only have 1 win on the year. I really don't see them finishing more than 3 or 4. I think Tony Pollard's put good, but give me the Lions.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions, obviously. Oh, this is a good one. We're just talking about this division, and this one could go a long way for either one of these teams. It's the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, we talked already a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers injuries, which is why I'm going to take Atlanta. Before you can even go, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to take Atlanta.
Bet that. I'm right there with Ditto. Give me Atlanta.
All right. Glad we're in agreement there. Again, I don't think it's because we think the Bucs are a bad team, but again, just all the injuries.
Offensively, yeah. Did we do Cardinals versus Chargers yet?
No,
Cardinals versus Dolphins. Pardon me.
Yeah, so we still got 2 more 12 o'clock games. The Cardinals and the Dolphins, which, by the way, no team is on a bye this week. All 32 teams are in participation in week 8. So Cardinals visiting the Dolphins. I believe Tua Tagovailoa will be back at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins this week. E, where are we going with this one?
Tua's back this week playing at home. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. I'm like not sure though if he's playing or not. So I'm gonna take a chance with this one. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins because I believe if he does not play, because they said he's practicing this week, that I do think the Cardinals win. But I'm not gonna talk both sides of my mouth. Give me Dolphins if Tua plays.
Oh, yeah, this is tough. Cardinals got a good win. I'm going to go with Miami too, though. I think Tua will help re-energize this offense. Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, get them going a little bit. Their defense is so bad, though. To be fair, Arizona's defense is very bad as well. I feel good with Miami. I'll take the Dolphins. But, all right, we're down to our last Sunday morning game, our 12 o'clock window. We have got the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cleveland Browns. And E, I think with both of our affinity with the way that the Ravens have been playing, I think we'll both take Baltimore here. I think it's safe to say.
Baltimore. Jameis Winston, though, this is a trap game for Baltimore. I do think this is a trap game for Baltimore. Jameis playing this week.
Oh, you know what?
With the nasty comments that they all had. That was nasty. So nasty the way him and Myles Garrett was talking about Deshaun Watson. Can I rant about that real quick? Because
yeah, go ahead.
Because like I don't feel bad for Cleveland fans at all. The reason why they were booing Deshaun Watson is not because of some moral high ground of the alleged situations he's had with women. They're booing him because he was playing bad. So I don't feel bad necessarily for them because when he was first got to the team, Browns fans, I remember the signs and stuff they had at the stadium about Deshaun Watson and the victims. I remember that. I remember the stuff they were saying about Deshaun Watson when he got that new contract, how excited they were. There was no moral standards or nothing like that when Deshaun was there. Now that Deshaun is playing bad, they're booing him. That's really all that it is, right? I am never cheering for somebody to get injured. So I'm not really for cheering a guy getting injured, right? But at the same time, Myles Garrett, Jameis Winston, don't turn Deshaun Watson into a fucking martyr. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make it seem like you guys are. That's one thing I really can't stand about athletes sometimes when they talk about them being warriors and all this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, it's cool and stuff for the movies and for the documentaries. But in real life, dog, you guys are just playing the sport. And an injury happened, and that's that. It's sad to see, but we move on. Like, you're not a martyr for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just think that Deshaun Watson being who he is makes this situation what it is, because obviously if this was just any other player getting hurt, I don't think we would be talking about this, because I think most people are in the same boat. No one wants to see anyone get hurt. That's just common knowledge, or common decency, right? But again, it's the way that the teammates react, and some people will say like, they're their teammate, you have to defend him or else there's going to be a lot of shit in the locker room. And it's like, at this point, is Deshaun even going to be in Cleveland? Because the way I think about it is this is the perfect way for Cleveland to get out of that contract now, because with
they
a lot of these
all that money, though.
Yeah, they're still going to owe him a lot of money, but what they can do is, what I was reading is a lot of teams put these insurance or like these like insurance on these long-term contracts, so that if a guy gets hurt, like Deshaun Watson just did, they can cut their losses by giving him some of the money and then just saying like, yeah, we're going to let the insurance take the rest of that. So I think the Browns are still in a very bad position. Don't get it fucked up. But I think with everything that's happened, this was probably the best thing that could have happened for them, in the sense of, now you have Jameis starting. They can move on from all of this Deshaun Watson nonsense. And yeah, just start rebuilding. And I think the toll for all of that is now you're going to have a shitty team with very little money going into the future.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I definitely see how this could be a trap game too, because we talk about the backup quarterbacks coming in for the first time and causing a little bit of chaos. So, especially because it's a division game too. So, but I still feel good about Baltimore.
Yeah.
You want to do the 3 o'clock games, or?
I got you on 3 o'clock games. First 3 o'clock game we got Saints at Chargers, both really bad teams. I think Justin Herbert's really struggling in this new Greg Roman offense, especially having no weapons. The Saints aren't very good team, like we said last week. After they played their Super Bowl against Dallas, they've stunk. And I don't see them getting a win this week. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers too. I think if a few plays go their way, they beat Arizona. Just some horrible plays from Jalen Reagor in that game. It's rough. But yeah, I'll take the Chargers. I like what Harbaugh is doing with that team. And once they start getting talent, we'll see a better team.
Bet that. Next 3 o'clock game we got is going to be the is going to be Bills at Seattle. Bills recently acquired Amari Cooper. Seahawks got a really, really good win last week. Both teams sitting above 500. I'm going to go with the Bills to win on the road and beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. I'm excited to see who comes out on top, but I feel good about the way the Bills are playing. And Amari Cooper, even though his first target was a drop, he made up for it with his first catch as a Bill being a touchdown. So I think Josh Allen will keep looking his way and opens up the field for a lot of their other weapons. So I'll take the Bills.
Bet that. Next game we got the battle of the number 1 and number 2 overall picks. We got the Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. Caleb Williams and Bears and company are going to be up against Jaden Daniels. I know Jaden Daniels had that injury last week, so I'm trying to figure out real quick if he's going to play this week.
Well, as of right now, Dan Campbell said that Marcus Mariota was taking starting snaps at practice and that Jaden Daniels did not practice. So looking like they're trending towards Marcus Mariota, but it's still very early in the week. We're Wednesday as we're recording this. So we'll see if Jaden Daniels plays.
I have a feeling they're going to sit him. They're going to sit him this week, give him a little bit of a break and rely on Mariota and that team at home to get it done. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Bears. I think Caleb Williams week by week have been playing a lot better. The competition isn't very good that he's going up against, but I think this team against the Commanders is going to be a really, really quality opponent for him. Give me the Bears.
I'm going to go on my NFC North hate watch here and take the Commanders. And I'm also going to say, Jaden Daniels, please come back. Please play this game because
they're going to need him.
I need it. And his mom tweeted that he was okay. So if mama says you're okay, I'm thinking that Jaden Daniels will be playing, suiting up. I think the number 1 versus number 2 storyline is something also he wants to be a part of. He wants to play against Caleb and prove that he is the better quarterback. And I feel good about it. I'll take the Commanders.
You got Commanders?
Yeah.
Bet that. Next 3 o'clock game, we got Chiefs at Raiders. I know Aiden O'Connell is going to be out pretty much for the rest of the year, or at least for a significant portion of it for the next 1 to 2 months. I don't see the Raiders, even though the AFC West always got a trap game ready for the Chiefs. I don't think this is going to be it. Give me the Chiefs over the Raiders.
I do like the idea of like this division trap game, but I'm like, if the Chiefs didn't lose to the Niners, there's no way they're going to lose to the Raiders at home, right? And watch them lose. We come back to this clip and we'll make it a TikTok or something. But yeah, I'll take the Chiefs.
Bet that. What else we got? We got the last 3 o'clock game. We got Panthers at Broncos. So exciting. Broncos blew the doors off of New Orleans last week away from home, and they're going to get a game against probably the worst team in the league. Andy Dalton they said he got into a car accident this past week with his family. Luckily, he's okay. But, it's going to be tough for the Panthers to get this win. The Broncos defense is really, really, really good. I'm going to go with Denver.
Yep. Obviously, Denver's not playing very good offense, but it doesn't matter when your defense is allowing less than 20 points a game. So I'll take the Broncos here as well.
Next up, we got Sunday Night Football. We got the Dallas Cowboys against the San Francisco 49ers. And we talked about this too. I talked about it in my overreactions, but this game is a must-win game for both the Cowboys and the Niners, considering all the injuries the Niners have on offense and all the Cowboys have on defense. Cowboys coming off a bye. This is going to be the Niners' last game before they go into a bye. It's hard. It's hard for me to pick because I think the Cowboys are always due for winning a game they have no business winning once a year. And it's been It's been a minute since they beat San Francisco. Let me see the last time they beat San Francisco.
Yeah, and
Because
while you do that, I'm glad we're not relying on Cox sources as much. But while you check that, yeah, I think I'll double down on that and just say like this is a must-win game for both of these teams, as we mentioned earlier, and it's really going to be interesting for the San Francisco offense to see what they're going to do without Brandon Ayuk. Like you said, Debo might not be playing in this game. Jawan Jennings might be out. So they're going to have to figure out a lot of things and find ways to put Brock Purdy in situations to win this game offensively. And defensively, for the Cowboys, you're going to get a lot of relief with Micah Parsons coming back. You said Deron Bland's coming back. I believe Eric Kendricks is questionable too.
Yeah. And the Cowboys are already thin at linebacker. But I like this. The first time we're going to see Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs together, both on the outside in a long ass time, because Trayvon Diggs had his injury last year and DeRon had his in training camp to start the year this year. I hate that I'm doing this. I really hate that I'm doing this. But I think if Dallas is able to make Brock Purdy make throws, like I know we always say that, but Brock Purdy has struggled a lot of the times this past couple of weeks and just this year in general playing man. No Brandon Ayuk, probably no Debo. Kittle always goes off against the Cowboys. So for any betting fans, always bet the over with Kittle against Dallas. I think Dallas is going to make Jawan Jennings and them boys and Ricky Pearsall have a really, really big game. I'm going to pick Dallas. Like I said, I'm going to roll with Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland over them too. I think Dallas is going to be able – I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think if Dallas sells out – this is the game you want Mike Zimmer here for. This is the game. If Dallas sells out to stop the run and says Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings – win your one-on-one matchups against these all-pro corners. And if they're able to do that and win, then I think Dallas got to shake Brock Purdy's hand. If they sell out to stop the run and that's how San Fran wins, I think Dallas can live with that. I think Dallas is going to get a lot of heat. They've been getting a lot of heat this past week or two because of how putrid the offense has been playing, especially throwing the football. I think Dak and CD are due for a big game. I think they finally get it done. I'm going to pick Dallas over San Fran. Also, tidbit, the last time Dallas beat San Fran was in 2020, where the Cowboys won 41-33. I don't think the Niners make it 4 wins in a row. I really don't think they make it 4 wins in a row. Give me Dallas.
I think the Niners do make it that because the last time I picked the Cowboys, they embarrassed me.
That was a layup, though. I don't know how you fucked that one up, though.
Well, I mean, I was on my NFC North hate watch, and I just needed them to come out with a win against the Detroit Lions, and they couldn't even put up a fucking fight. So you know what? The Cowboys going into San Francisco and winning, I don't know, just still sounds kind of crazy to me. I'm going to take the Niners.
I mean, if you think about it, the Dallas have been playing better away than they have at home. Like they're getting the door blown off at my home. So like I'm more confident in them playing in San Fran. So you got San Fran, I got Dallas.
Yep.
Bet that Sunday Night Football. Okay. Next up,
our last one is our Monday Night Football game.
Monday Night Football game, exactly. We're gonna have the We're gonna have the New York Giants at the Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens had a great game against the Jets. Russ was saying, fuck it, George Pickens is down there somewhere. And I think they're going to be doing it again this week against the Giants. Even though I'm excited to see if Malik Neighbors is back, right? I'm not tripping, right?
Yeah, he was playing last week too, but I didn't really see much from him because Saquon was running wild.
Yeah, and he's had a concussion and everything like that for the last 2 weeks. But I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think at home they're hard out, but really good against the Jets. The Giants are worse on offense. Evan Neal is questionable. Andrew Thomas is out for the year. Like I said, sell out to stop Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, and you'll be okay. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, you don't even need to sell out with Minka Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter and all of those players you got, and TJ Watt is going to be all over Daniel Jones. So, yeah, I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers, too, at home. This one feels like a layup.
Bet that. Well, that's going to be our Week 8 NFL predictions. I'm going to have our record going into this week on the screen now. Please let us know what your records are, how you guys are doing in your fantasy league. I laid a fucking dud this week against Dylan. My whole team, I'm free falling, bro. I started the year 4-0, now I'm 4-3. I've lost the last 3. This week though, I like my chances. I think Dylan's been doing something with the waiver wire because I'm stuck at a permanent position on the waiver wire, and I don't know how I'm still that low, but I'm gonna get to the fucking bottom of this. Believe fucking me. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Hey, it could always be worse, man. I'm in a league right now where I'm 0-7, and my team's not even that bad. It's just like injuries have kind of derailed me. I played against a team one week that dropped 160 on me. Like, what do you do about that?
No, I just haven't been able to put up a lot of points, to be honest. Like, my team's been hurt. Like, ever since that Rashee Rice injury, it kind of coupled that with CD's injury and Jordan Addison and Dax stinking to join up the last 2 weeks in fantasy. So, like I said, I need a win this week. I really do. And I think I'm going to get one. So, that's going to be it for our NFL overreactions and our predictions for week 7 and week 8. Make sure to subscribe. We are going to have a new podcast video. I know we've been saying it for a couple weeks now, but we're going to have a new podcast video coming out at the end of this week. So make sure to stay
actually
tuned.
Recorded now. So
yeah, it's actually recorded. Like, we didn't have to ask, are we recording? Like, it's already done, recorded. It's already set in stone. It's going to be out this weekend. So make sure to check out. It's a really, really good episode. We have one of our buddies, Alex, on to talk J. Cole and his Port Antonio track, as well as give our NBA power rankings, including the new Kendrick Lamar. Just in general, we didn't talk about the Kendrick Lamar magazine interview. No, we didn't.
We're saving that for another week. But if you are interested in that, you should subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and find out when we're posting that, because that's coming soon, as well as the Tyler album review. Which
because we did a preview. We are going to do an album review for the Tyler Creator album. But yeah, just make sure to check all the links and everything. You already know where to find us. Thank you guys for watching.
We're recording. Thanks.
Peace.
Peace.